Alright, hello YouTube, Handheld Guru 97 back here today with another video for you guys. If you'll notice the shiny thing right there, that thing right there, and that word right there, you know what it's all about. It's about the Nintendo 3DS. 3 days ago, on June 21st, 2012, Nintendo announced a revision for the Nintendo 3DS. This is not the revision, as you can obviously tell it, because it comes out in August of 2012. This is the original 3DS, the 3DS Classic, as I'll call it in this video for clarity, because most of you will probably be watching this far in the future, when there's looking like 2 revisions of the 3DS. Yeah. So, bought this. So let's take a look at the 3DS here. Alright, here's the system itself. We'll get into that in a minute. Let's take a look at packaging. This is the box I got for my 3DS when I bought it launch day, March 27th, 2011. And, yeah, as you can see, it's a pretty cool looking box. Over here. Oh, I turned that. There, just want to make that. There we go. As you can see, I got the focus. Focus. Alright, if you can't read that, I'll read it to you. Cosmo Black. Watch as my camera's going to focus. See, Cosmo Black. Nintendo 3DS. A new dimension and entertainment. A Nintendo 3DS. Now, of course, since I got mine on launch day, you won't see the eShop on here, and most of you who don't own a 3DS don't know what happened with the eShop, because it was already installed on your system. Well, it wasn't installed on mine. I'll explain that in a minute there. Look at that. Glasses free 3D. That was a big, big deal in 2011. So let's set that back down there. And if my camera would like to stay on its stand, which I don't think it will, see? When you don't have a tripod, you use your Game Boy as a stand. My life advice to you all, if you ever buy a camera, film YouTube videos, get a tripod, don't use a Game Boy. So let's take a look at the real system itself. As you can see me in the background, my Game Boy stand and my camera, you can tell this thing is really shiny and really reflective. Also up here you got 2 cameras down at the bottom, and these can take 3D photographs. Now I can't show you them in 3D, but I can just explain that a bit, but yeah. Up here you got a little light. But that's not for power or anything, that's for other things, and I'll explain that in a minute. Yep, alright, look down on the bottom. You will see your headphone jack straight in the center, very similar to the original Game Boy. And this is where your power lights and charging lights are. Back on this side, you've got focus, volume slider instead of volume button like on the DSi models. And you also, continuing from the DSi brand, you get your SD card. Pop mine out here. For those of you who might buy, or if you're watching this in the future, and own, you get a 4GB SD card. Not with the original 3DS, you get one. They get like a smaller, I can't remember if I got one. Yeah, there was one that came with the system, I think, but installed with the thing, but you'll get a 4GB SD card on a 3DS XL, which is coming out, like I said, in August of 2012, but some of you might be watching this in 2013, if we all don't die in the 2012 end of the world thing. You guys can correct me in the future, saying we didn't die, and I'm like, I know. Okay, over here you've got your now standard R, L buttons, your AC connector, but I've never actually used this, and I'll show you why, actually. Look at my wall. This is the 3DS charging cradle thing. You have your AC adapter plugged in back there, and you just set your 3DS on there. It's pretty awesome. It was revolutionary when I first got it. I don't use my AC plug at all. I only use it occasionally when I absolutely need to, like when I'm charging it and playing it. Don't do that often. Okay, now let me get my camera set back up here. Okay, now, you've seen that. You've got your standard cartridge slot. Now this is a great, and then your infrared connector thing like on the Game Boy Color. Your stylus is now on top and retractable. On the new Nintendo 3DS XL, the stylus, from what I've seen, doesn't look to be retractable. Correct me if I'm wrong, it's just a few days after it's been announced. I don't know everything about it, so a bit clueless. Of course, you got your standard information serial number, which, as you can see, mine is wearing off. But of course, it's still in my box, so don't need to worry about that. It's a lighter texture than on the color on the front. Sorry, see, it's black up there, gray back there. Pretty cool little feature. Alright, now let's open this thing up. So your camera's up there. Alright, then you got your inward facing camera like on the DSi. This does not take 3D photographs, it's just standard 2D. Your 3DS slider. Oh wait, I forgot to mention something on this side, your wireless switch, forgot about that. I'll explain that in a minute. Alright, you've got, for the first time on a Nintendo handheld, a circle pad, joy pad, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. People just call it the C-pad or something, circle pad, or I don't know. Your D-pad, and compared to previous Nintendo handhelds like the DSi and DS Lite, not very good, but does its job. Just kind of replaces it, so does what it's supposed to do. Your select, home, and start buttons. Now, from what I've seen of the new Nintendo 3DS XL, these buttons look a lot better on that system. These are hard to press, a bit annoying, but you get used to it. Continuing from the DSi, you also get your power button, but it's been moved from over here to there. And then, of course, you got your standard B, A and B, X and Y, and top screen, bottom screen. So, that's pretty much the exterior of the system. I'm going to close my blinds here so you guys can see it when I boot it up. Doo-doo. Takes a minute for it to boot up. There's like no fancy startup screen that's like da-na-na-na, something like that. Kind of like on the DS Lite or DSi. Just boots up, puts you on the menu. Alright, you can't see it. I'm going to turn my brightness down just so you guys can see it. Brightness settings look like this. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And power saving mode on off, because you guys might have heard about the bad battery life fiasco that surrounded this machine. Yeah. Alright, on the top screen, the 3D screen, you've got your internet showing. I've got strong connection. Play coins and steps, I'll get into that in a minute. The date, which is June 24th, 2012. And your time. Also, battery life. And now, watch what I would do if I turn this off. It says internet's disabled up there. Turn it back on. Enabled. Takes a second for it to load up. So, about the steps, this thing is a pedometer. And it's a pretty cool little feature actually. So you can put it in your pocket, walk around, and such. But if you put it in your pocket, if you have a 3DS Classic like I do, you might need one of these, a cloth. Because the top screen rubs against the bottom screen, and you're eventually going to get scratches running right up along here. And then this thing is fingerprint magnet. Oh, friend online, explain that in a minute. Down to the bottom screen, you've got a menu. But it's different than the DSi menu. You've got all sorts of stuff. However, you can't see the names. Well, it's because it's right there. eShop. I don't know how I'm going to pull this off. There. Okay, eShop. If my camera could focus. You've Mii's Return in the Mii Maker and other games. Activity log, and I'll go into this app real quick. Just because this is not on any other Nintendo model. It shows Nintendo 3DS boot up. Okay. Activity log. You can see my Mii. And also how many steps I've taken. I've taken over 1 million. I've played almost 135 titles. You can have up to 250 on this. So I'm not running out anytime soon. And if you look down at your touchscreen, you can see your daily records. Let's see what I've done today. So far I've taken only 71 steps. Pretty average. And the most I've played is Cave Story 3D. And it can record anything for weekly or monthly. So you can see I love playing that Mario Tennis Open. And yearly. We'll go to 2011 because that looks more impressive. Page view. Played about 105 titles. Got in 709,000 steps. Actually, 710,000 steps, really, because it was almost a little bit off. Played about 669 hours, 39 minutes. My most played titles were Legend of Zelda, Pilot Wings, Street Fighter. Great games, by the way. Alright, we'll go home. This is going to be a two-part... home so I just showed you guys the home button functionalities. So you hit the home button, and this is better than the Wii's. This just evolves the Wii version. It puts you on the home, but you can't really... If you want to do stuff outside of it, you can really only do game notes, friends list, messages, and internet. Internet's probably like the best feature out of all of these, because you can just do cheats and stuff for games like Cave Story stuff if you get stuck or anything. Alright, now since this is going to be a two-part video, we're probably going to max that out on 15 on both. So we're going to go to the eShop now for those of you who saw my DSi view. You saw the DSi shop channel. I'm going to turn the volume up for this because you guys must remember the elevator music from that. So, close suspended software, data will be saved. Now that's not for every game, but you'll understand that in a minute. We're going to go to the eShop. Now, I got the eShop when it first launched back in June of 2011. This was revolutionary. It changed the online interface of Nintendo stores forever. Yeah, it is crazy. So you don't have any elevator music. And it's really fast, actually. Look at that. So this has changed so much. If I had filmed a review, which back in June of 2011, this would be so much more different. So we're going to go to the bottom screen. That's where the action's at. You've got news similar to the DSi one, only it's much more functional. You actually get more than 2 news stories for the whole life of the system. You can check on what's new, what's best selling. We'll go to what's best selling. Let's see. How about all software? And as you can see, 3D Classics Excitebike, which was free for a month when the eShop first launched, is still best selling. With titles like The Legend of Zelda and Super Mario Land, which we'll go to now. So Virtual Console, big deal. This was huge when it was announced. Everyone was like partying. I have downloaded it, as you can see, and it's currently on sale. The game normally costs about $4. Today it costs $3, and the sale ends today, by the way. So for those of you who don't watch this video today, you'll see that it actually was on sale in 2012. So down here, you can check out more info. It's all on the bottom screen, of course. But then you can do screenshots of Mario's Wacky Game Boy Adventure, the back button, Ancient Ruins, 1989, Game Boy game, Daisy, stuff like that. Players. Then you can check a video, we won't go to that. And ratings. It's got good ratings. I love this game. I gave it 5 stars, I think. If I gave it less, I'll be mad at myself, my past self. So those are the charts. And now the Virtual Console. Gloria, I say, Gloria. This part's amazing. So, what you got in the Virtual Console? Well, you've got NES games, such as Donkey Kong Jr. I'll show you better games like that. Game Boy Color games like Rayman and Game Watch Gallery 2, which I have on my Game Boy Color. And Game Boy games, Kirby's Block Ball, and Game Gear games on a system that actually has working sound and screens. Oh my god, this was revolutionary. Only got 3 so far, but we'll get more this summer. More NES games like Super Mario, more Game Boy Color games, Game Boy games, stuff you might not have heard about. Pac-Man, got that on my Game Boy. We got Radar Mission, Slide Pocket, Cat, that's a great game. More games hidden down here. You've got all the Game Boy launch titles in here actually. You got Tetris, Super Mario Land, Alleyway, Tennis, and Baseball. All the launch titles. And Donkey Kong, of course, which is just slapped at the end of there, I don't know why. You've got applications, top rated, available at retail, so you can check out 3D photographs of games at retail. You can rate titles. I think I've got some I've got to rate. Yeah, a lot. I'm backed up on here. My wish list? What do I want? This might be embarrassing because some of these titles might not be good, but hey. Kirby's Block Ball, Punch Out, yeah, those are good ones. Rate titles, you can add funds, and other settings, won't go in there. Nintendo Direct, and they have all sorts of stuff like press and stuff, E3 stuff, because E3 was just about a few weeks ago. And demos, you got demos, and I'll explain that in part 2 because we're running out of time here. Nintendo Show, it's like a little every 2 weeks video thing. It's pretty cool. Coming soon, 3D games. They don't call it 3D, I swear, like I like to. Well, just showed you guys that stuff. Street Pass, another little app. If you guys have a DSi, you know what these 2 things do. If you have a Wii, you know what those do. I might show this off in part 2, not entirely sure. I'll probably show this off in part 2, and I'll also show off all these. You can find my behind there, but first I have to check my mail. So yep, YouTube, if you enjoyed this part 1 video, comment, rate, subscribe to me, or like it, whatever, and watch part 2. Part 2 will have much more on the games and such. Alright, see you at part 2.